Hey YouTube, how the heck are you doing today? Hope you're doing good. We're going to be going over the one feature in Magic Lantern that I've been looking forward to working with. I haven't been able to get out as much as I wanted to over the week, so I'm going to be using my fish tank as the subject for this time lapse. So I got my camera all set up and everything, so let's go ahead and just jump right in and see what we can do. So this is our subject for today. I didn't get out and about like I wanted to this week. So we're going to do a little fish and a little coral. I've got my 6D all set up on the tripod here. And let's go ahead and just turn this guy on. I'm going to go into live view. Double check the focusing on my shot. Zoom in, or not zoom in, but focus in on the tentacles floating there in the water. Then let's go down into the trash can, into Magic Lantern. We're going to have to shoot in the shoot menu, so let's go over to intervalometer, go into Q, take a pick every 5 seconds. I'm going to set it for. The start trigger, I'm going to put it at leaving this menu, and I'm going to have it start after 3 seconds, and I'm going to go all the way up to 15 shots for this series of shots. I'm going to hit the Q button again. Going to turn it on by hitting the set button, and then once I leave this menu, it's going to see the pick, and it's going to start taking the 15 shots. I'm getting a little movement in the coral. So I'm going to let that finish up, and then I'll meet you back at the laptop. Okay, now that we got our card and our images ready to go, I'm going to just pop it in the computer, and what I'm going to do for this one, I'm going to drag the images off the card into a folder on my desktop, and then once I do that, I'll bring you on over and we'll go into Photoshop, and we'll go on from there. So once you're in Photoshop, go up to File and do Open. And then I'm going to select that first image in my time-lapse folder that's on the desktop. You're going to go down to the bottom left-hand corner and do hit the Options button. And you want to open it as a sequence. And then once you hit the Open button, it should prompt you on the frame rate there. I'm going to leave it at 30 frames per second and click OK. And there, that's where you'll see your image come up. You'll see a little timeline down at the bottom. If you don't see the timeline, what you'll need to do is go up into the window area in your menu, and you'll see a timeline is checked off, or go ahead and check it off, so you'll be able to see that window. And then if you hit the space bar, it's going to go by pretty slow there, because there's a delay between each sequence. And that's the end of the sequence. But to go ahead and go up to File, and we want to do Export, and we're going to do the Render Video, which is at the very bottom there. And this is going to be doing it out at 1080p, 1440 by 1080. I didn't give it a title at this moment, and it's going to put it in the same folder that it got the images from. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the render on that. It's doing the export. Depending on the number of images you selected and put into this sequence, it may or may not take a lot of time. And then down at the bottom there, you'll see I have my untitled MP4, and it goes by really quick. So if I go ahead and I'll do an open with QuickTime Player, I want to go up to View, and I'm going to do a loop on this, and it's going to have a little hiccup because of the way it starts and stops. But go ahead and play. So that's just a little time lapse I did on my fish tank. Like I said, I wanted to get out and about a little bit more and use it out in the field, just having my 6D with me. I'll probably do that in the future and have some time lapses in the beginning of some of my vlogs, so you'll see those, and we'll probably visit it again in the future. If you have any questions or comments on it, please leave them below. I had a comment the other day, or a question, as far as the depth of field menu in the Magic Lantern, that he wanted to know what the difference between the regular formula for depth of field, and then there's one that was also called diffraction awareness in that area. So I kind of been researching it. We're going to have a full thing on that next time under Magic Lantern. Basically how diffraction plays into that, from what I've been able to decipher so far, is on depth of field is typically people think when they have the lens open at the widest aperture, they have a short depth of field, and when they shut it down or make it the smallest aperture, the highest number, they have a longer or better depth of field and sharpness throughout the picture. But that does not always play true on some lenses and some situations, because that's where the diffraction comes into play. Sometimes when you're at your smallest aperture, or like say 22, you'll get some fuzzy or out of focus areas in that picture because of that diffraction. If you were to back off your lens 1 or 2 stops on your aperture, you'll probably get a sharper image than you would at the full length of the f22 or f16, whatever your lens may be at that moment. But on the menu there's a diffraction awareness selection that you can do for that menu, and I'm going to be looking into that in a future video, and I hope you stay around for that. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time, guys. Have a good one.